let us start off by talking about some of the statistics that people usually don't speak about. For instance, 9 out of 10 people won't like you because of something that they did probably to you. 8 out of 10 people is because you said no. 7 out of 10 is because you are actually good without them. 6 out of 10 because you went for it. 5 out of 10 because you walked away. 3 out of 10 because of the rumors that were started from jealous people's assumptions. 2 out of 10 because they copied you and you didn't let that stop you. 1 out of 10 because you hold them accountable. If you made it to 10 out of 10 without giving up and without, letting it stop you, they don't like you because you're still standing and you're still self-motivated and you're still moving forward. So this will earn them a gift from karma's kiss. And even though you may not be there to witness different things or how they, receive their karma from what they did to you, that don't mean they didn't get it. These people, when they're alone, they have to deal with themselves, and that's one of the things that they probably try to avoid. So sometimes some of these individuals, they will always try to surround themselves with somebody or people or try to get high or drunk because they don't want to have to think about what they've done. They don't want to have to acknowledge it or self-acknowledge it or whatever. But even to a point when you try to disguise that with drugs and alcohol, it's going to come out still. It's going to come out. People around you are going to see it, and that's one of the things that I think how a lot of families hinder individuals within the family because they see it and they don't say nothing. They much rather act like they don't see it or try to shun someone from speaking up and speaking out because they don't want them to talk about something that they all want to act like they don't see. They don't want you, you're not supposed to have feelings when somebody violated you and offended you in some of those toxic families. You're not supposed to have feelings. Your feelings are not supposed to exist if you were molested or beaten, abused, or somebody stole something from you in those toxic families. So to me, when it comes to the point where they hold the perpetrator accountable, I feel like some of those relatives need to be locked up too because they are aware and you're covering up for them and you're not saying nothing and you're making sure the person who did the violating is good and you don't want to hurt their feelings and shit, and they're just as accountable. They're accessories to the crime because they're not speaking up or they didn't say anything or they didn't protect you or try to protect you. Instead, they jumped on a bandwagon of trying to bury you or something. So you have to get to a point where you don't feel obligated to put up with that just because you are biologically related to some of these people, because at the end of the day, a lot of them bank on you feeling that way and having that loyal because of blood relation, and that doesn't stop them from mistreating you, because if they had that same type of loyalty and love for you, they would not mistreat you. They would not allow you. They would not steal from you. They would not join together to steal from you. They won't steal your inheritance. They won't sit here and commit fraud in your name and stuff. They won't sit here and send you to jail or try to lie and send you to jail so they can stay out of jail. They won't do those things. You don't owe them nothing just because you are related to them, because they're not giving you the same treatment. You know what I mean? So it's in your best interest to just. Sometimes you don't even have to respond. You could just literally just move away and won't even have to say anything. Just back away, create your distance. It doesn't even matter if you have a parent or a grandparent that's saying, "Oh, that's your such and such." You need to remember they coming from a different timeline and a different period. And a lot of times those timelines and periods that they came from, they were taught by people who were ultimately put in this state of fear to accept things that they should not accept, because just depending on if you keep following a generation back, right? Held captive into slaves, not slaves, whatever. Like you wasn't a slave, you was held captive and you forced into slavery, but you technically not really a slave. But they taught out of fear. They taught things to their children out of fear. They didn't pass on like strength and courage. They passed on fear and, hey, put up with getting beat, getting raped, getting abused, being molested. Like, they put up with that shit, and you're not supposed to speak about it. So all of that is toxicity. And at some point, a person you can't save them. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you want to, no matter how much you understand what they went through, like, they have to realize this on their own. They have to acknowledge it. And when they refuse to do that, it's not your place and your obligation to sit there and drag yourself down and try to make them realize something. That's let them do what they gonna do at the end of the day. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to get upset over what other people are gonna do, because they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. Like I said, a lot of people do things out of jealousy, because if they was actually sit down and think about why they don't like you, they have no reason. They might say something like, oh, because such and such told me this. And the reason why they jumped on that bandwagon, because they were jealous or insecure anyways. And like I said, you have people in your family who might be jealous of you because somebody else might brag about you or your accomplishments all the time, or like, and that's not your fault, right? And you should not have to be ashamed to be proud of the things that you've accomplished, because of it makes somebody in your family feel bad or insecure. So now you got to act like you're not proud of the things that you've accomplished because of them. Like, you don't have to do that. And you don't have to be around people who try to force you to be that way. There are people out here who are not jealous and insecure about your accomplishments. Like, I'm not jealous and insecure about people's accomplishments. I'm an artist and I support other artists. Like, I personally feel like if you're out here doing certain things, like, I understand, because I was like working and, trying to do so many things while accomplishing this. So to see people who don't have things given to them and they're accomplishing things, like, I'm amazed. Like, I'm not jealous. And if we have a competition, it's going to be a friendly competition, because I was an athlete. So as the type of athlete that I used to be is, I don't believe you can compete with nobody, because there's so many factors. Like, you're not the same person, genetics, skills, training, how long that person been training. Like, there's so many things. Like, it's not, unless everything could be equal and fair, then you can't really truly have a true competition. So the only person that you could really ever compete with is yourself. Like, that's how I look at that. You could really only compete with yourself, because you want to do better than what you did the day before. But like, sometimes to push yourself further, you might have a friend and be like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can get 10 and I'm gonna get 11, and who can get to it first, whatever. Like, that type of competition, that's not toxic, right? But when you have the other type of competition where these people want to do things like try to sabotage you, steal from you, because they trying to do better than you or one up you with your own stuff, like, even then it's not even a competition, because you had to like cheat, steal, and do all these other things just to try to get ahead. So like, me personally, when you do that, I'm not going to feel bad if you get, like, I'm not going to feel bad if stuff was given to you and you're ahead of me. I'm not going to feel bad if you have like all this built-in support and you're ahead of me. I'm never going to feel bad about that. I'm not going to feel bad if you in the streets and you use street money from the streets to help you get ahead. Like, I'm never going to feel bad about that, because you didn't do the things the way that I did them. So it's not on the same, playing field. Not saying either one is better, but it's not on the same playing field. So I would never look at you as competition. Like, I don't look at anyone as competition, but not everybody out here feels that way. And you have to start being able to step back and look at the people around you, because on Monday they might be all happy for you, and then by Saturday they might be putting that same smile, but they really sitting there like being envious and trying to figure out how to knock you down, because they don't want you to get too great or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to be conscious of who's around you at all times, and be open to the fact that people cool with you today might change. Cool people that was cool with you 10 years ago might change, so you have to be open to that. All right, enough of that, because I started out with my little 10, but make sure y'all check out the, if you're interested, I started back the Pull Out podcast series, but you have to be a subscriber to get that, so you have to go to the podcast, Aisha Speaks Podcast page, and subscribe, and you'll be able to get in on that storyline. That's if you're interested in it. Other than that, make sure you check out my Art for Artists YouTube channel. I use that channel to pretty much promote and market other artists. I've always done that, and I know there's some people out here now that want to jump on the bandwagon of helping others because they see me doing it. But you know what? I'm not even mad about that, because at the end of the day, whether they are genuine when they're doing that or not, or they just, they're doing it because I'm doing it, or maybe they just doing it because they feel like it's going to get them more sales or something, it's still benefiting y'all, you know what I mean? So, like I said, I have my channel out there, and I use it to promote other artists. And I've always done it. I've been doing it since 2007. I've changed names here and there. And you know what? Back in the day, I'm gonna tell you what, I had so many different names that I've tried, platforms, pages or whatnot. And I changed it because somebody else copied the name and did that. But and so that's why I would change it. Cause I'm why I ain't trying to have the same name as somebody else. I was trying to have my own name, but now I'm not gonna do that anymore. I don't even care, because people are always going, I see it now, people copying my Aisha Cipher name, and they out there creating dummy pages like that. And somebody literally started I had my podcast called Legend Speaks. Somebody literally started a podcast in Houston with the same name after I started that, and I'm not gonna change that, because Legend, like I said, if you listen to some of my other things, Legend is a name of a character in some of my short stories that I've written. And I base some of her life on my life. So Legend Speaks, I named that podcast originally Legend Speaks because, I was dealing with a lot of things with people from in the workplace, and I was dealing with the racism, sexism, and that was just my way of letting go that, you know what I mean? If you go back to one of the earlier episodes on Legend Speaks, you actually hear the audio recording of some of the things that I went through on one of the jobs when I was operating a tower crane, because those people, I don't know, they thought I was they must have thought I was a white girl when I came out there. And I say that for various reasons, because when I first came out there, first thing they did was try to send me over to the labor side. And I was like, no, I'm told to report over here. And they just had this look on their face, a whole bunch of, you ever walked into a place and you just knew that these people just, the room, the energy in the room just shifts, a racist energy. You walk in, if you walk into a town and everybody there, they probably wear them KKK hoods and nights or something. So that's how I felt when I walked in there. But it wasn't my first time working around those type of people. Usually my experience with those type of people is when you're in a professional environment, we doing our work, we making our money. That's what that is. But in sometimes certain states, which states I don't want to go back and work in, in Georgia, for instance, those out there, the ones out there, they be on some. They be on some. They want to see the whole company destroyed just because they don't want a black person there. So they be doing reckless things, they sabotage equipment and stuff. So to me, they have mental issues because they allow their personal feelings to stop the flow of business, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand that, but I guess it's because it's something that they were taught, or the environment they grew in, or the people that they grew up around, and that's just what's accepted amongst those type of people. But anyways, so that's why I had started Legend Speaks.